What if I told you that choosing between SCHD and SCHG could be an $8 million mistake? Imagine standing at a financial crossroads where one path leads to comfortable growth while the other rockets towards extraordinary wealth. The numbers are staggering. My analysis revealed that $100,000 invested in SCHD grows to around $1.2 million after 30 years. Meanwhile, the same investment in SCHG balloons to $8.5 million, a difference that transforms retirement options and life possibilities. But here's the twist. You might not have to choose just one. What if I told you the difference between choosing SCHD or SCHG isn't just a few percentage points, but potentially millions of dollars over your lifetime? That's not an exaggeration. It's the mathematical reality that most investors never fully grasp until it's too late. Let's look at the actual numbers. SCHD, the Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF, currently offers a respectable 3.64% dividend yield, attractive for investors seeking regular income stream. Meanwhile, SCHG, the Schwab US Large Cap Growth ETF, has delivered average historical returns of 15.93%. This fundamental difference in investment approach, steady income versus capital appreciation, creates dramatically different outcomes over time. Imagine you invest $100,000 today. After 10 years, your SCHD investment would grow to approximately $290,000, while your SCHG investment would reach around $441,000, a notable difference, but not yet life-changing. As the years progress, this gap widens exponentially. By the 20-year mark, that same initial investment in SCHD climbs to about $650,000, providing annual dividends around $23,660, helpful for supplementing your income. But your SCHG investment? It would have ballooned to approximately $1.94 million, nearly 3 times the value. The long-term picture reveals an even more striking contrast. After 30 years, SCHD would grow to about $1.24 million, generating approximately $65,000 in annual dividends, enough to replace many Americans' salaries. Meanwhile, SCHG would have transformed your initial $100,000 into an almost incomprehensible $8.58 million, a $7 million difference that could fund generational wealth. Like planting 2 seeds, one in steady soil and one in growth-accelerating fertilizer. These 2 strategies yield vastly different harvests over decades. This dramatic divergence stems primarily from the power of compounding returns. Einstein allegedly called compounding the 8th wonder of the world, and these numbers illustrate exactly why. When SCHG's returns compound at nearly 16% annually, compared to SCHD's more modest growth, the difference doesn't just add up, it multiplies exponentially year after year. So which path would you choose? The steady, reliable income from SCHD that eventually replaces your salary, or the explosive wealth-generating potential of SCHG that could set up not just you, but potentially your children and grandchildren? If you're struggling with this choice, you're not alone. Most investors approach this decision as a binary one, based on their immediate financial situation or goals. If you need income now, conventional wisdom says choose SCHD. If you're younger and can afford to wait, go with SCHG. But here's what most financial advisors won't tell you. This binary thinking could be costing you millions. The psychological tendency to view investment options as either-or choices often leads to missed opportunities. Instead of seeing the complete picture, many investors narrow their focus to what seems most relevant to their current situation. When we visually compare the growth paths of these 2 ETFs, the exponential difference becomes impossible to ignore. It's not just about the end numbers. It's about understanding how each investment performs across different time horizons and market conditions. Most importantly, it's about recognizing that the stark choice between income and growth might actually be a false dichotomy. What if there was a way to potentially benefit from both approaches? What if the optimal strategy isn't choosing one ETF over the other, but figuring out how to strategically incorporate both into your portfolio? Behind the modest appearance of SCHD lies a wealth-building mechanism that most financial advisors rarely explain fully. While they often position it as the safe choice for conservative investors, SCHD's true power has little to do with safety and everything to do with the acceleration of wealth over time. What financial professionals don't emphasize enough is how this ETF transforms a seemingly modest initial yield into a financial powerhouse through what I call the dividend velocity effect. Let's look at what makes SCHD truly special. This ETF is a carefully engineered wealth-building machine. At its core, SCHD houses the market's most reliable dividend aristocrats, companies like Coca-Cola, Pfizer, and Chevron. These companies have impressive track records of increasing their dividend payments every single year for decades. When you own SCHD, you're essentially partnering with corporations that have made dividend growth a cornerstone of their business philosophy. Many investors mistakenly believe dividend ETFs are retirement vehicles, suitable only for those who need immediate income. This misconception causes younger investors to overlook one of the most powerful wealth-building tools available. Imagine a small snowball rolling downhill, gathering more snow and momentum as it descends. That's the dividend velocity effect in action, with SCHD's remarkable 11% average annual dividend growth rate. This growth rate means your income stream could potentially double approximately every 6.5 years, even if you never add another dollar to your initial investment. Consider what happens to a $100,000 investment. After the first decade, it grows to approximately $231,400, generating about $9,700 in annual dividends. By the 20-year mark, that same initial investment could reach about $537,000. And after 3 decades, your original $100,000 could potentially balloon to $1.24 million, providing an annual dividend income of $65,000, more than many Americans earn from their full-time jobs. And remember, this is income that arrives whether you continue working or not, requiring 0 additional hours of your time. SCHD offers a remarkably low expense ratio of just 0.06%. For every $10,000 invested, you're paying just $6 annually in fees, compared to the industry average that's often 10 times higher. This cost efficiency works hand in hand with SCHD's impressive resilience during market downturns. While growth stocks often experience dramatic sell-offs during corrections and recessions, dividend aristocrats typically show more stability. Together, these features help preserve capital during turbulent times, allowing your investment to maintain its foundation and benefit more fully when markets eventually recover. The power of SCHD isn't in its modest initial yield. It's in creating an ever-growing income stream that eventually rivals and sometimes exceeds many growth investments. What starts as a trickle becomes a stream, then a river, and eventually a flood of passive income that can fundamentally transform your financial reality. This is why sophisticated investors understand that dividend growth investing through vehicles like SCHD creates an increasingly powerful financial engine that works in parallel with, not in opposition to, growth investing strategies. The accelerating dividend income provides both stability and growth potential that can serve investors throughout their entire financial journey. Speaking of powerful financial engines, there's another vehicle that sophisticated investors are increasingly adding to their portfolio. SCHG represents something fundamentally different. a stake in the companies that are literally inventing our future. But what's the real story behind this remarkable performance? Remember the first time you used a smartphone that could recognize your face? Or when AI first correctly predicted what you wanted to search for? These breakthrough moments weren't just technological marvels. They were investment opportunities. And SCHG has been at the center of this innovation revolution. While most ETFs celebrate beating the market by a few percentage points, SCHG has quietly outperformed 93% of all ETFs over the past decade. This isn't just impressive, it's exceptional, and it happens for specific reasons. When you look under the hood of SCHG, you see the architects of tomorrow's world. Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, and Amazon operate as innovation factories that fundamentally reshape how we live, work, and interact with technology. Picture them as high-powered engines constantly propelling us toward the future. Here's what most investors miss. These companies invest billions into breakthroughs many of us can't even imagine. This creates what I call the innovation compound effect. Every dollar these companies earn funds AI research, quantum computing development, biotechnology advances, and countless other innovations that potentially create multiple dollars of future value. Consider this. When Amazon invests in drone delivery technology, or Microsoft pours resources into artificial intelligence, they're planting seeds that will bloom into entirely new business models and revenue streams years from now. As an investor in SCHD, you're buying a ticket to tomorrow's breakthrough. The efficiency of this ETF is almost absurd. With an expense ratio of just 0.04%, virtually every penny of growth flows directly to you as an investor. For perspective, that's just $4 annual fee per $10,000 invested, practically invisible compared to the potential returns. What makes SCHG particularly fascinating? Its performance during different technological boom cycles. When breakthrough technologies hit the mainstream, like smartphones in the 2010s or AI more recently, SCHG's holdings tend to be the companies leading these revolutions. This positioning allows the ETF to capture extraordinary growth during innovation cycles. Despite being categorized as a growth ETF, SCHG still pays dividends with a current yield of 0.39%. While modest compared to SCHD, these dividends tend to grow substantially over time as the underlying companies increase their profitability and cash flow. It's a cherry on top of your growth sundae. The long-term implications of this innovation-driven approach are staggering. The historical growth rate translates to life-changing wealth creation. Imagine starting with $100,000 today. In 2 decades, that could potentially become nearly $2 million, enough to transform your financial future. And with a 30-year time frame, the numbers reach an almost incomprehensible $8.58 million. With SCHG, you're taking a meaningful stake in technological progress itself. You're investing in humanity's forward momentum. These companies build the infrastructure of our digital future, create the platforms where commerce happens, design the devices we depend on, and develop the software that increasingly manages our world. Think about how different the world looked just 10 years ago. Now imagine owning pieces of the companies that will create the next decade's transformations. That's the true power of what SCHG offers, a front row seat to innovation and the financial benefits that come with it. After seeing the distinct advantages of both ETFs, you might be wondering if you have to make an all-or-nothing choice. What if I told you that strategically splitting your $100,000 across both funds could create a self-balancing portfolio that generates meaningful dividends while still positioning you for those million-dollar growth opportunities? The approach sophisticated investors use might surprise you. The investment world often creates a false division between income and growth investing. This binary thinking costs investors significant opportunities. Instead of choosing one path, Wealthy investors combine these strategies to create something more powerful than either approach alone. SCHD and SCHG function as financial dance partners in your portfolio. When technology and innovation surge, SCHG takes center stage, potentially delivering remarkable returns. During market storms, SCHD steps forward, providing shelter through stability and consistent income until growth cycles return. Together, they create a portfolio that responds dynamically to changing economic conditions, like experienced dancers adjusting to changing rhythms. Here's how this works practically. By dividing your $100,000 between these ETFs, you create a dynamic system that capitalizes on various market conditions. From day one, your portfolio generates approximately $3,640 in annual dividends from the SCHD portion, while your SCHG allocation positions you for substantial growth. The real advantage comes from strategic rebalancing, systematically harvesting gains and reinvesting at optimal times. When one ETF significantly outperforms, you trim some of the profits from the winner and reinforce the laggard, automatically buying low and selling high, the fundamental investing principle most people struggle to follow emotionally. During a tech boom, when SCHG races ahead, your rebalancing strategy redirects some profits into SCHD. When markets shift and dividend stocks regain favor, you're perfectly positioned for that rotation. This approach transforms market volatility from a threat into an opportunity. The tax benefits of this dual ETF approach are substantial. By keeping SCHD in tax-advantaged accounts like IRAs or 401ks, you can protect these regular dividend payments from immediate taxation, potentially keeping an extra $1,000 in your pocket annually. Meanwhile, holding SCHG in taxable account lets you benefit from lower long-term capital gains rates when selling appreciated shares, significantly enhancing your after-tax returns over time. This combined approach adapts to your changing needs throughout life. As you approach retirement, you can gradually increase your SCHD allocation, boosting income when you need it most without completely overhauling your strategy. This flexibility allows your portfolio to grow with you through different life stages. The psychological benefits are equally important. Regular dividend payments from SCHD provide emotional reassurance during market downturns, making it easier to maintain your SCHG position when growth stocks temporarily struggle. This emotional stability prevents the panic selling that destroys long-term returns for many investors. When implementing this strategy, your personal timeline and risk tolerance should determine your initial allocation. Longer horizons might warrant higher SCHG percentages, while those nearer to needing income might weigh toward SCH. There's no single correct allocation. The strategy adapts to your unique situation while maintaining its fundamental advantage. As we conclude, remember that the $8 million difference we discussed comes from crafting an investment strategy that evolves with market conditions while steadily progressing towards your financial. Financial experts emphasize that adaptability is crucial for navigating market volatility successfully. Your investment approach should function like a responsive compass, adjusting direction when markets shift while maintaining a steady course toward your destination. This adaptability distinguishes exceptional investors who build wealth through systems that capture both growth and income potential across varying economic landscapes. If you found value in this breakdown, subscribe to our channel. We'll continue unpacking wealth-building frameworks that put you in control of your financial journey. Imagine implementing these strategies and watching your financial independence take shape. Your financial future deserves a complete toolkit of proven approaches.